A ship sailed into the Pacific to hunt whales. It never came home. The ship was called the Essex. It came from Nantucket, an island built around whaling. Back then, whale oil lit houses, greased machines, and made money, so men crossed oceans looking for sperm whales. To the sailors, the whale was not a wonder, it was a job. They had been at sea for more than a year. When they reached a lonely part of the South Pacific, there was no land nearby, just water, sky, and a ship full of empty barrels. On November 20th, 1820, the crew spotted whales. Most of the men lowered small boats and rowed after them with harpoons. The first mate, Owen Chase, stayed on the Essex to repair damage. Then he saw it. A huge sperm whale was floating near the ship, quiet and still. Chase later guessed it was about 85 feet long. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the whale turned. It came straight at the Essex and hit the ship head. On the whole vessel shook so hard that men were thrown to the deck. The whale passed under the ship. Sailors nearby and seemed dazed. The sailors froze. Then someone shouted. The whale was coming back. This time it moved faster. It rammed the bow again. Wood split. Water rushed in. The Essex, a ship built to kill whales, was being destroyed by one. The whale disappeared. That may be the strangest part. It did not stay. It hit the ship twice, then vanished into the Pacific, leaving 20 men staring at a sinking hull. In stories, this sounds like revenge. Maybe it was. Maybe it was fear. Maybe it was pain, confusion, or a warning from an animal that had seen too many boats and harpoons. We cannot know what was inside the whale's mind, but we do know what humans have been doing. For years, ships like the Essex had chased sperm whales across the ocean. Men threw iron into their bodies, followed them as they bled, then cut them apart for oil. That day the hunted animal hit back. The crew escaped in 3 tiny whale boats. They saved some bread, some water, and a few tools. Then they watched the Essex sink. Their nightmare had only started. The close St. Islands were not impossibly far away, but the crew feared the people who lived there. Rumors scared them more than the open ocean, so they turned away and aimed for South America. It was thousands of miles away. The boats leaked, the sun burned their skin, salt ruined the bread. Men drank too little water and grew too weak to row. At night, the ocean was black. In the day, they could see how empty it was. After weeks at sea, they found a small island. It looked like rescue. It was not. There was little food and almost no fresh water. 3 men stayed behind. The others went back into the boats. Then the boats separated. One was lost, the others drifted on, carrying men who were starving in the middle of an ocean full of life they could not catch. What happened next is the part people still struggle to say plainly. Men died. The survivors ate the dead. Later, on one boat, they drew lots to decide who would die, so the others might live. The captain, George Polagera, watched the lot fall on his young cousin. The whale had sunk the ship in minutes. The ocean took the men slowly. After about 3 months, passing ships found the survivors. Only 8 of the 20 men from the Essex lived. They came home then broken and carrying a story nobody could forget. Years later, a young writer named Herman Melville learned about the Essex. He read Owen Chase's account. He also met George Pollard on Nantucket, long after the captain had become a quiet night watchman. From that wreck came part of Moby-Dick. Over time, the whale became something larger in people. Yes, minds, a monster, a symbol, a white sheep in the dark water, coming for a ship full of men. But the real whale was not white. It was not a character in a novel. It was a sperm whale in a sea, where humans had arrived with sharp iron and empty barrels. That does not make the sailors evil. Many were young, many were poor. They were doing the work the world gave them. But it also does not make the whale evil. The Essex story is often told as the day nature attacked man. You think it is stranger than that. It is the day a hunting ship learned, for one awful moment, that the animal in front of it was not just cargo. It was alive. It could turn, it could strike, and then it could disappear, leaving humans to explain what they had seen. More than 200 years later, people still remember the whale that sank. A ship, not because it was a monster, but because it broke the rule humans had written for the world. We were supposed to chase. It was supposed to run. For one day in the Pacific the rule broke, and the men of the Essex never forgot the sound of the wood cracking beneath them.